Fear of failure used to hold me back as a drummer, and still can if my mind and heart are not in the right place. When I first started playing percussion in high school, I had many moments where I felt like a failure. Whether it was the feeling that I couldn't stack up to my peers or getting yelled at by my band director.
Not quite my tempo.
I always had in the back of my head a fear of failure. This motivated me to work hard and practice hard, and I certainly improved, but it also led to a lot of inefficient, wasted time, because in my practice I struggled to play with a clear, relaxed mind. I was tense and it showed in my playing. It wasn't until my senior year that I started to overcome this. When I started focusing on having more fun and embracing the process, rather than dread the path towards improvement. I distinctly remember standing on the field for our last state band competition, and I had the thought, at this point, I really don't care what the results are going to be. I'm going to play my best, have fun, and enjoy this. And I did. Was senioritis a little bit at play at this point? Maybe some, but I knew for sure at this point that I was starting on the path towards better practice and a better mindset. I've also had to learn how to let go of these failures from the past. So how do we live this out? How do we practically deal with failure, or even the fear of failure? So let's start with an example. Let's say you're learning a new drum fill. Maybe you've been going at it for 30 minutes straight, trying to get this fill down, and you're getting frustrated because it feels like it's just going nowhere. When this starts to happen, just take a quick break. Breathe, relax, and give yourself a moment before diving back in. As you're doing this, take some time to think through what part is causing you trouble. If someone is around to talk you through it, maybe you're at a lesson, that's even better. I find that just taking a moment to breathe can put you in a calmer, more focused mindset before diving back in. You'll likely find that the thing you're trying to practice will come more naturally after doing so. Some other steps you can take to learn something new, maybe it's a new drum groove, is to simplify the part you're playing. If this groove involves a hi-hat, kick, and snare, pull out the hi-hat. Just focus on getting the kick and snare pattern first, and then focus on bringing the hi-hat back in. You could even isolate just the hi-hat and snare. Break these individual parts down and then put it back together once you've got the muscle memory starting to build up. If you're playing to a metronome, consider slowing down the tempo. That way it's easier to break down what you're playing, really think through it, and really build that comfort level before getting back to the original tempo for the song. These baby steps can go a long way in working towards your goals. So if we're talking about fear of failure in a live scenario, where maybe you're concerned about screwing up because of a past mistake you made, all I have to say is this: those past failures don't define you, and every day is a new opportunity to grow. And each day is an opportunity to improve your technique and your playing. If you're catching this in the moment, a great thing to think about is what your higher purpose is. Are you wanting to entertain others? Are you playing in a worship setting? If you are a worship drummer, are you using these parts to bring glory to God? Or do you even just want to play simply for the joy of playing drums? Do you want to change the atmosphere of the room with your drumming? You'll find that spending time on your goals and your higher purpose will lead to a much more productive practice time, and you'll be more comfortable as you're playing live with your band or with your church. If you find yourself getting constantly frustrated and discouraged, then it might be time for a mindset shift. It may not be as simple as just a change in your technique or what you're practicing. Lastly, just be patient with the process. Every drummer progresses at a different pace, so don't get too bent out of shape if a certain groove or fill takes longer for you to learn versus one of your peers. What matters most is that you play and practice with purpose, passion, and intentionality. Those are my thoughts on dealing with failure as a drummer. Hope you got some value out of this, and stay saucy.